Okay, testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. See how we're doing. Make sure we have audio coming through. And today has been all sorts of technical issues. Make sure that we are actually outputting audio. See. Make sure we are live on our channel. Putting audio. Okay. Cool. I can see YouTube up. Let's see that Twitch. Oop, that's new. All right, let's just see if we can get to. Nope, not that. Let's see on. Okay, cool. On Twitch, we have audio. Cool. Sounds good. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, let's see how that works out. Just make sure I have everything pulled up. Cool. All right. Cool. I think hopefully everything's okay. Um, so many issues, technical issues today, but I think we are somewhat up and functioning now. About almost like 45 minutes late, but got it working. Had some camera issues to start with. Had some other just technical issues with the stream and OBS and everything. So just super super weird issues today. But eventually got it working enough to start what we're gonna do today. Um, Wanted to have a little. I will see how we look on time. Uh, but yeah, I'm also not sure if the chat feature that I have is working. But again, but we'll test that out. We'll test that out more whenever we get a little more into it. Probably more to troubleshoot with the UI stuff, but yeah, figuring it out. But yeah, so today gonna be doing just some concept sculpting concept drawing for Smaugust, since it is the kind of the art theme right now to be to do dragon concepts and things like that for August. A lot of other artists are kind of participating. A lot of artists are will post their own prompts and things like that, or just different yeah, just different art prompts or kind of simple guidelines for what you do for the challenge. I am not going to go too complicated in like or stick to any specific like prompt or artist prompt or anything like that. Um, I did like the idea. There's one artist. His name is Arn Beelan, I think. It's Arn Bean B something. Let me see if I can just to make sure that I'm actually saying this right. Arn, yeah. Yeah, Arn Beelan, I believe, or that's how you pronounce it. I could be wrong with that, but artist I do like a lot of good tutorials that he does. But his one of his prompts for Smaugust was to do dragons, but like story wise, like there's a little story every drawing prompt you do every week, and basically you continue that through the month instead of just being every day a different element. So that was kind of what I was most inspired by. So I did like that idea. So I do kind of want to follow that a little bit. The first week for his was draw a dragon hatching out of an egg. And there's other more specific guidelines on his end, but I kind of just like that idea and just kind of want to roll with that as the initial seed for the stuff we're gonna work on today. Um, let's see, always on bottom from a pure ref, cool. But yeah, so that was the initial idea. Kind of what we want to do today. We'll see how much time we have because it took a little longer to get set up. And right now, this is not even this is something else I was working on for a different concept, just a little rough sketch. I just wanted something on the screen before we started. But yeah, so idea is going to be basically just try to get some dragon concepts in, try to get some just I rough forms and different play around with some different types of animals that kind of influences in getting in. Just pulling some different influences from uh, different artists to see if we can just make something feel like a dragon. Do we want to make it be basically more reptile-y or more frog-like? Let me actually see if I can move my canvas. This is gonna be more how I usually work through things, and I think like I've said, like I've on few past streams, I'm not like I definitely wouldn't say I am the best artist when it comes to 2D work. Oh, where's my thing going? So many weird issues, but yeah, when it comes to 2D artist, I would say I'm not the best at that still. Always on top. Sure. Okay, cool. That works. But this is still similar how I approach things when I do 3D as well. Um, but basically, it's going to be a little screen. Basically, it's going to be usually building some sort of pure ref board like this. So that's kind of that's what we have here. Different ideas that I have, a bunch of different artists that I've pulled references from. Like here, we have just references on different dragon heads, different then we have some egg ideas because I do want to kind of start with that story of starting with like a small egg or drag hatching out of an egg, and then um then doing maybe something with that. A few references from like Game of Thrones I separated out into here, so done a bunch of different dragons there. I really do like the way their dragons are. I do like I'm a big fan of, I think it's technically a wyvern if you were going to get really into like the semantics of dragon, different dragon words and for different dragon terminology, and what is a dragon, what's a wyvern. So technically, I think Game of Thrones are wyverns. I think Skyrims are also wyverns. It's basically whenever you have something that has uh, the two physical like back legs and then the front two wings as are not like full legs. I think a dragon technically if you want to get into like fantasy terms, but they're not real, so it doesn't really matter. Technically a dragon has I think four legs and then the wings is what makes it a dragon. Which is in How to Train a Dragon is just what I do also have. Technically, I think this would be more of a dragon. I think Toothless also, yeah, Toothless technically is more of a dragon when you have the four legs like that and the wings. Um, I I think there's room for both sometimes, but I do like more wyverns. I do like this kind of dragon. It just kind of looks cooler, I think, for me at least. And I haven't actually done too many dragons. I got some baby references here for baby dragons too. But so we're gonna kind of just experiment and see what happens. Bunch of real world references. Oop, those for other things. Some weirder ones. Yeah, just a bunch of reptiles. I got frogs, turtles, lizards, snakes, things like that. Just different ideas. Some birds. Birds are feel like really dragon like, so I do have a lot of those on here as well. Um, a few other ideas for some like concept ideas for the piece that I want. But usually that's the first step of any sort of 3D, any art piece, and just in general, it's gonna be get a bunch of references, throw them all together, and then after that, you just kind of start throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks, just mixing it up, and that's kind of what we're gonna start getting into now. This is going to be we're gonna do pick a size that's about how big do I want to get? Um, we could do green size, a little big, but I'm okay with that. Let's no, you know what? Let me see. I do 2048 by 2048. No, let's do screen size. Yeah, let's do screen size. It'll give us a lot of room to play around with. We can just have a bunch of different ideas. Okay, cool. And then so I'm gonna go ahead and make this. I usually like to make my canvases around like either I'm a fan of either having it be a little bit like a beigey color for the canvas. I don't like a white canvas. It just feels weird in my eyes too sometimes. But I just think well, white canvas isn't as it's just too contrasty for me personally. So I usually go like around a beigey canvas, about right here. Or if I'm getting usually doing like a little more sci-fi stuff or hard surface, I like to get a more mid kind of bluish gray, about right here. For this one, I think I'm feeling more feels more fantasy, feels more like beigey. I think is a good starting point. I like it a little more orange. Not that this really matters that much because you can easily go ahead and just uh, you know easily go and read get a big fill bucket and just redo it. Oh, let's put this always on bottom. Canvas, no mode, always on bottom. Canvas window mode. Oh nope, mode always on bottom. There we go. Cool. So yeah, so this is sure how much cool. Yeah, and if there is any last time on Twitch we had an issue where we had a full black stream on the video piece of the Twitch side. Um that happens. Somebody just let me know. Uh there was audio coming through last time, but not any actual uh oh shoot, you know what? It's fine. I'm pretty sure my display message was something not real. Okay, whatever. It's fine. We'll deal with that when we deal with that. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, so the yeah, if there's any issues with the video or anything like that, just let me know. Still working through the kinks, getting slowly better on some of the pieces, but it is not a foolproof thing. And there's a lot of still just small issues that coming and going. Whenever we get rid of one thing, usually it brings up another one. So yeah. So if anything comes up, just let me know. Um, make sure that we have everything there. Let's see, we have cool. All right, change my go live notification, but that doesn't. I don't think that matters too much. Okay, cool. Anyway, so yeah, we are gonna go ahead and start this. So, uh, as far as what we're gonna start with here, I kind of just gonna start making some really sketchy lines. See what we what we get in here. We're gonna go ahead and start with a. Let's see. This is Sam Does Arts brushes. I do have his pack that I do like to start with, or I like to start with the Josh Black brushes that I have. I have a few other brushes that I like, but these are usually pretty good ones. I just like something that's got a little textured, um, and is fairly light. It feels kind of like a pencil. This is not the right pen. There we go. For the other way comb for sculpting. Yeah. So just something that feels a little textured, a little pencil-like. Usually start with some just circles over and over again. Yep. Just try to get warmed up with these. Usually also just some straights too. Either straights, trying to go over the same line over and over again and try not to get too off. Or you go hatching, try to make it equal distance between all the different lines. Something like that. Also, ellipses are good to warm up with. Nice. And basically, that's kind of what all of the shapes you're going to be using are going to be either straights, ellipses, or circles, which are still kind of ellipses anyway. So usually just start with little ones like this, and I'm not the best at circles. Sometimes I can hit it. Iron Dragons, you say. If you need inspo, I got a few descriptions. Oh, dude, Druids, welcome to the stream. It's been a mess getting it started, but yeah, thanks for stopping by again. And yeah, dude, if you have references, we'll take a look. This is gonna be uh just a full just sketching, uh just kind of workshop area, or one, so we can kind of get some ideas for dragons. I have an idea of like a concept I want to do, but I'm just gonna kind of throw stuff at the wall right now and just try to get stuff in. So yeah, if you got some cool stuff, let's see it. But yeah, so okay, let's start with dragons, I guess. The best, and let's see. Still, the UI doesn't work. Okay, cool. We'll have to figure out the multi-chat thing on the to get the UI piece working. Was hoping that would come through this time on the chat. Oh, at least we tested that. Testing 1, 2, 3. Cool. Okay, so yeah, let's start with. I'm gonna do something kind of bird-like at first. Maybe just get some. Let's see. We're gonna get something that just feels very bird kind of uh, curve like. So do something like this. I just drawing some birds the other day too. And so dragons, I feel like you can either go give them like really square faces, or you can give them very like very pointed, narrow faces, something like that. I feel like you either go really thick and heavy with something like this, even though this neck feels too small to have a thick head like this. Um, uh, something like go really heavy with something like this, or we can. I don't think this one feels like it's got to be a thin one. I think this one's gonna be more thin and maybe a little more snake like. So something like this. Get some loose eyes in there. I kind of want this to be a little bit more. Yeah, very thin dragon. I also actually want to bring this a little more pointed. Let's see. This is going to be something you'd see more like. I believe Smog was actually fairly thin faced. Yeah, fairly thin faced for a dragon. Very pointed, very angular, which I do kind of like. Maybe with maybe like a crest up here. We can give. I think I kind of want for this one maybe point towards the mouth, but then bring that jaw back a little bit. The jaw out a little bit, maybe right about here. Cool. And then a little bit of that under side of the neck. I actually think I want this to be a little bit wider. And I think at this angle you probably wouldn't see. What is this? Like this, like this. So you probably wouldn't see the eye, but you would probably see like the crest or whatever over the eye. Like this. Let's go ahead and give it a nose, something like that. Make sure that it is on the screen. Yeah, okay. Started really far to the side. Let's see. So it's like this, then Something would be like that. What am I doing? Actually, I'm thinking let's flare these out a little bit more. So something like this, and then maybe comes over the top like that. Yeah, something like that. For this one, a nose, and then look at look at Smog. What does he look like? I have my references. Yeah, he's very yeah, he's very slender. So let's see. So steal something from him. I do like so Smog has this cool thing where his mouth, or get this, he's very slender on top, very kind of flat like that, but then his mouth kind of turns up. And I know that I've seen the behind the scenes for how they did some of the mocap and things like that, and how they gave him such uh gave him like a very made him very expressive was by the way they built his mouth. So instead of being like a very reptile, just kind of up and down, they kind of gave him lips that in the front right here, it functions more like a human mouth. So they had Benedict Cumberbatch actually, mocap or whatever. They were able to capture the more of the uh, lip movements. Even though his lips extend all the way back here, this front piece is where it actually they do a lot of the animations to actually get the right look of a kind of a dragon actually speaking, which is pretty cool. So this is kind of what Smog looks like from the profile, and profile is pretty important in dragons. Something like that. That's roughly what he looks like. I do like that. I do like that upturn. He does have also have a kind of saggy double chin, and then jaw right here comes here, something like that, and then roughly this is what Smog looks like in the Hobbit. I think I actually want to bring that up a little bit right there. Cool. So yeah, that's roughly what Smog looks like. So I think that's kind of what we're going for here. Let's see, Druid, what you got? Funny images like this other than Basilisk Duna, goddess of earth and thirst. Appearance is bulky six-legged dragon with no wings and heavy spines running the entire length. I like this other than a Basilisk Duna, goddess of any other images slightly like this other than a Basilisk earth. Let's see. Is this what is this one so bad? Basilisk kind of this is more this six legs dragon, so no wings, heavy spines running the entire length. Is what kind of a setting is this one in? Um, there's no wings. Is it like a more like a sand? I don't know why I'm just like no wings. It makes me feel like a kind of more sand crawler, but um, yeah, what kind of like what kind of environment? There you go, climate and all that. Um, it's like a because basilisks are like snake like, right? Yeah. Well, I guess it depends on the basilisk. There's like a D&D basilisk. Yeah, the D&D basilisk has more legs too. Yeah, okay. So I can see that. D&D basilisk. Yeah, and I can see like the look of the D&D basilisk looking like that. And it's bulky, it's like chunky like that. Okay. This formless sea, they can submerge in sand. Yeah, it would probably be fairly low to the ground. Okay, cool. Okay, I like that. I feel like you can mix that with like a what's like a dune sand one. Let me get some. Or Knights of the Republic, Star Wars, old Star Wars games used to have, I think, something like that too. Sandworms are a little plain. What about a crate dragon? Yeah, like a crate dragon in Star Wars might be kind of a vibe. That was these dudes. Back in the game, old Knights of the Republic game in Star Wars. Look at these dudes. But the newer ones they did for Mandalorian actually kind of have a little bit of a look like that with multiple legs. That might be kind of cool. I like this picture. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this picture for my. There you go. Grab this one from my notes because I do like that's a cool design too. Good idea for things. Pull this into my riff board. That's cool. That's cool. Though. So, as far as like these dragons, are they like intelligent dragons? Or are they more of a more of a more creature dragon? I know. I think I remember you saying the dragons were like demigods a little bit, aren't they? Okay, so let's finish this dude. Um, where is my thing? Let's save then. Stream studies. Not studies. I'm gonna do Smaugust. Dragon. Skip. They're void dragons, so they would be kind of incomprehensible, but this is the visual that they choose to manifest in the community. Okay, cool. I like that then. We're just saying it will probably be fairly no, okay, I like that. Are they actually hostile at all? Or like are they normally hostile or are they um they kind of just more I guess they could be like more if they're void dragons, it'd be kind of incomprehensible. They might just feel more like eldritch than anything. Maybe. What is blocking this? Is this? This is this. I go with this. Where is my cursor going? All right, let's try. Is it fully? No, this is fine. What is blocking this one from drawing? All right, let's just try reopening this. Open recent, drawing sketches. Fill this one. Dragon sketches. There we go. Photoshop's being weird lately too. Okay, so let's do something like this. Give this something a bit of a bigger piece. And I want to see keep the bird theme for this one. So let's do maybe something like let's do something like this. More dinosaur like actually for this one. With those big legs there. Go ahead and bring some sort of leg here. And then let's give it some wings. Like their manifestations exist as messengers for the most part. Okay. Cool. Okay. So they're more yeah, I would say more metaphysical, like not getting involved, more just uh, a force of power. I feel like that makes more sense. Um Besides like looking big and bulky, like do they actually have more like any because they are since they are more energy being or beings of like immense energy, do they have more like weird metaphysical traits to them too, or is there anything that's like specifically that they manifest more than other things, or that are like unique to them? I guess. See, so if I'm gonna do this, I actually want to pull this. Pull. I'll keep big chicken vibe, but I'm gonna pull this back a little bit more. Elongate that, so we have some room for the wings. And I think, like I said, I kind of wanted this to be feel more wyvern-like than or like a dragon. right now at least. So like this, where their feet nest. I actually want to bring, this is too far, too connected, or too in front of the back leg. I think it looks a little, doesn't look as dynamic like that. So let me see if I want it with almost like its leg forward. Let me see if I can find a good reference for that. Oh, maybe something like this. Something like that. And then it's this, then it has to have somewhere around here. So something like that. And then we'll see, we'll give the dragon a tail. Whoa, that was way too close. Let's see, I want this to be here. And then this should be up here. So basically, we're going to want the dragon to come around, or the tail to come around here. This will say this is the top right here. Well, let's see, this needs to be the top. And this is the other side of the tail. And then this is the other side of that tail. Okay, something like that. Good enough tail for this first sketch. Cool, something like that for the tail. Nothing too crazy. Maybe spike, little suggestions of spikes. This is just to get their ideas out there. Okay, so this is a very bird-like dragon. What I'm kind of seeing with this one. So an idea, but I don't know. We'll start playing with other stuff. Okay, let's see. So manifestations exist as messengers for the most part. They tend to affect the minds of other creatures around them. For example, while near a manifestation of Duna, you'll feel an unquenchable thirst and general torpor. Okay. All right, I like that. I like that it ties in so much with your existing lore. Cool. So okay, let's play around with that idea then. Let's duplicate this to make it a little bit darker. I'll duplicate it one more time just to get it a little darker so we can see that when it's small. We keep those references over there. Yeah, cool. And then let's play around with making this. We'll play around with making this dragon. So bulky six-legged dragon with no wings, heavy spines running the entire length. What do we want to pull from? Thinking almost if we're gonna pull something bulky, what's a good bulky reference? I'm thinking almost if we're pulling bulky, I kind of like the idea of like a turtle, like a snapping turtle for their size, and maybe like a monitor lizard, an iguana. I'm thinking this is very, very, even seeing like the, let's see, so if I pull like a D&D basilisk too, those are also bulky. Basilisk. Indeed, those are also bulky. Very minds of other. And then let's see. I feel like we make it kind of heavy lizard, more crocodile or like alligator, kind of heavy lizard. The basilisk is pretty big, almost crocodilian, yeah, or turtle-like with underbite is what I've had in mind. Whatever you feel is best. No, I think that's good. I think that's kind of where I was going to. I think this definitely feels more tanky. It's definitely a more tanky character. Almost thinking maybe even T Rex. But do it's definitely more tanky though. It feels heavier. I think is the way to go with this. well, let's just get a basin. This is just playing around with ideas right now anyway, so let's get a basin, just something that feels very heavy. Okay. We just need weight for this one. I kind of want to make him. Let's see, how do we want to do this? We want him to be probably, or them to be maybe big. And these are, how big are they like compared to like a person? I guess, yeah, if we're gonna have like a little person next to them, how big would they actually be looking? Are they something that's more like a, like, I guess, like a realistic big, like an elephant size, or is it like more fantasy big, like an, like an actual, like almost like the size of a whale on land, or like a dune sandworm or something like that, where they're massive? Let's see. Let's just get some shoulders. Would probably be 18. Okay, cool. So pretty big then. Cool, cool. Okay, that helps. Let's just get some. Let's just make some marks. Make some marks, and then we'll play around with it more. Maybe we can do something to feel the size first. Um, I want something more, maybe a little more flat. Yeah. So basically, yeah, for a lot of art, or a lot of stuff like this, especially when you get into more design stuff, it's just kind of throwing stuff around, making random marks, seeing what feels like something. Um, I have a little person. We'll put, see if a person's values. Person. Rough in a little person, so we have some sort of reference. Very rough person. Some people are really good at making little rough people references on their things. I've never been that good at that. Let's see. So let's see what person.6. Let me actually go ahead and put this guy on a different layer. Control X, and then Control V. No, actually, you know what? No, Control Shift V. There we go. And then we put duplicate here. About 12. These feet. So then let's go ahead and do one more duplicate. Right there. Okay. Better idea. Right around there. The big direction. Okay. This guy there. We can turn off these other guys for now. Yep. Cool. Okay. Let's play around with some ideas now. Okay, so I'm thinking if we have something that's in the sand, we feel this. I want it to be almost. Okay, let's see if we can figure out some sort of head. I do like the idea of the underbite. I think that would be cool. And I think I almost want, there's, let's see. So I've seen some references that are pretty cool for, let's see, dragons that have more square faces. Where's my references? There we go. Okay. So we want something big and heavy. I've sworn I had one for this. And there we go. Okay. I'm thinking kind of more. If it is going to be, maybe bring this down a little bit more. Really emphasize that jaw. And then we can bring this in. We're going to have, no, it feels very lizard-like. Let's see. So want something that's more, maybe really emphasized. So we're going to pull the draw out on both sides like this. And then I'm thinking be smaller. That. Hmm. Let's see. Want to make sure we get the spines too. I think that is a pretty important part. Being able to get the spine, so it almost needs to be angled. If we take the head like this, bring it up, the spines right here would start to pull. So where the spines would start pulling back. This is where the spines start, somewhere around here. Okay, bring that in. If it's going like this, then it'd be something like this over here. Does this as it starts to go back towards the distance? So that means that the body is more over here and angling back this way. If we're saying it's fading this way, I think it would be. Yeah. So let's do this. Actually, nope. We don't need that. Um, Move this around. It feels a little bit bigger because the person's not like right up on it. So if we do, let's go ahead and take these two actually, and oop, these guys, and let's just shrink them down so we have more space to work with here. We're working really far away right now. I'm gonna come in a little closer. And then if we're saying we're doing this, then that means the horizon line is, if we're above the horizon line right now, the horizon line's like somewhere here maybe. Perspective is never my favorite. Yeah, that feels about right. So say that I think actually we can go ahead and bring these higher. Here, bring this as it starts to go down in the distance. To find the body in there a little bit. Hmm. Perspective's weird on this still, but like this. Take this arm, drag it out a little bit more this way, so it kind of turned it at an angle. It's kind of looking more like a bearded dragon kind of right now. I don't know if I like that. And it froze again. Weird. What is that? Oh, that's what it is. There we go. Okay. Okay. Bring this up higher. And 6 legs, so it'd be something like that. Okay. Kind of seen the vision, but I don't think this is the right direction though. I need something, I need a better reference to pull from. Let's see. Let me just pull up an here. A crocodile. Let's pull up a crocodile. Let's pull up a saltwater crocodile. Saltwater crocodile. Those are the big ones that are in Australia. They're massive. I think that would be a good reference. Huge. That's insane. Okay, so pulling up some more of these references. I think that'll help inform the overall feeling and weight of it. Crazy. Huge. Cool. Okay, so I like that. I like the feeling of that. I think one of the things that's in the references is that crocodiles are a little bit wider, and I think we could benefit from making this a little bit wider. And I do think it's a little flat though. Flat makes sense for like a lizard, but I think this needs to have a little bit more weight to it. And I honestly think that maybe it needs to be more hunched. So instead of being as yeah, okay, instead of being as yeah, okay. So instead of being flat like a crocodile, I think is what we're kind of pulling right now, it should be more like a yeah, okay, because a lot of lizards basically will be flat and their necks will come up. So basically lizards are kind of like this. Let me make a different layer just so I'm not having to keep erasing. But yeah, lizards, a lot of their stuff is kind of like this. They'll be flat, have legs, and then head will come up right here, like that. So lizards will be like that. They'll be have a very upwards arc movement and then be very flat. Crocodiles and alligators are similar too, where they'll have a very upwards movement like that. And I think that's cool. It works for lizards, but I think for something, I do think I like the weight more when um, I like the weight more if it's almost hunched over, so it's a little taller. Let's see, a little taller, brings up like this, and then the weight of its head, kind of like more like the regular dragon, but the weight of its head is what's bringing it. It's pulling it down, his neck down, so it's actually more sagged, more honestly more ape-like, if anything. Where a lot of the weight is up here, shoulders, and then lets it have more weight as sag down, and still got to be a little bit flat because it still is, on all fours and everything. It only makes sense, but I think if we can pull its head down as having a lot of weight, I think that would help make it feel bulkier. So we'll say arm here, feet, whatever, there. Like that feels a little bit bulkier. I really want that hump up here. Let's see, so we take this idea. Oh, I put it on the same thing as the lizard. Whoops. Cool. Put the lizard over here. Make our own thing for this. Make another one for just this guy. Control X. Control Shift V. Okay. Thinking, so I like the idea of his head coming down. He has spikes on a ridge. Maybe it's like this. Have an overbite there. Almost like the idea of having 4 eyes. What is the nose? Let's check. I think for the nose we can go back to turtles. I think I almost want turtles almost have like a beak, but I kind of want maybe a sharp. Let's see if we go something like this. Maybe. Definitely want that overhang of the weight of the neck underneath. Hmm. Let's see. I like the weight. I like the idea of the weight sagging here. Underneath, I like the face being squarish like this. I don't know what the spines need to look like though. We can pull from, I mean, because there's like something simple like an iguana spine. There's kind of, they all will move backwards in the direction. If we pull looking at the D&D basilisk, D&D basilisk. D&D basilisk, like those have spines that are more chaotic too, as they all sort of line the back more, almost growing out of the back, like just like almost like the just yeah bone spikes are just growing out of the back kind of chaotically, look almost like rock formations too. Um, I'm thinking, but we can also make this so it's like make this longer too, longer also because we have the 6 legs, so we can make this more worm-like too. We bring the legs. Let's see, we'll leave the leg there. Actually, I think the better idea is to I think it's this stomach needs to go like that, and then see if the other leg is here. It's smaller. Like there. That's too weird. An angle. Hmm. Okay. We have kind of create it like this. Perspective is all off on this leg. It's a weird angle. Something like that. Basically, be seeing. Okay, we'd be seeing the side like this. Side like this. Because this would be going toward this way. Okay, so maybe we keep it longer like that. The perspective's getting weird on this guy. He's a big dude. I think it needs to come down a little bit. Something like that. Not sure about this one. Anyway, let's just put some stuff on here. Looking crazy as far 11. Nice. Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the perspective now on this guy. to make him a little longer. I'm playing with the idea of him being a little longer, wrapping around since he has the 6 legs. But uh, yeah, let's see. I have to definitely have to play around with them though. Still, so okay, do this and then I want it to wrap around like that. Maybe with the tail included. But yeah, I think I like the face. I like how heavy he's feeling up here. I think it's just a matter of figuring out what we want that to whatever feels right with the rest of the body. Mm, but yeah, that's a lot of this is a lot of trial and error at this point. Is usually how it goes. Um, and I think my perspective is not set right now, and that's just it's because that's also something that like need to figure out or you should do as an artist is always figure out your perspective early on, and I never do. I always end up trying to wing it and then eventually have to go back and later and reset it so I can see what we're doing. This third leg in here somehow is kind of it. It's from here we're above it, so we would be seeing, and then see. So this, and then if you say that's the tail, the end of the tail, something like that. This is a very long one. I don't like the way this looks back here because it's still off a little bit, but you just get this in here, figure out what I'm doing with this. Hmm. Let me see. Okay, let's bust out the liquefy. Liquefy is a great tool. Easy to abuse it, but when it's works or when you need it and you can get it to work the right way, it's so useful. You know what? I can kind of see. Okay, I think I see what we can do with it. Almost want buffalo. Yeah. Okay. Let's try that. Let me grab some references. I'm thinking. Thinking buffalo reference might be helpful to get that weight that I'm trying to find in there because they have like a really good hump on their back too. That's I think pretty cool. Um, we're still making them feel bulky and not just uh just lizard like a crocodile where you end up being flat. And there's still weight, but it's distributed flatly. But maybe if we can get the buffalo look or like even a moose. Hold on, let me see what they have. Moose have a lot of weight to them too. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see. Okay, cool. So if we go moose, I think we can get. Let me pull up another reference for moose. I just want to make sure that it feels powerful without feeling too sluggish. That's a good. Cool. Okay. Cool. Okay. Better. Okay. Cooler idea now. So delete some of this. Keep that there. I'm gonna erase a bunch of this. okay, the body's like this. Yeah, let's figure out the body just a little bit more. I think it's coming too far this way. So body, something like, let's see. So yeah, let's do something like this. The body goes like here. You have the rib cage around here ish. Come here. And so that means that the center line would go back this way. Something like that. And that's where the spikes are going to grow off that center line. I almost want to bring his shoulder up a little bit more. Beefier on the shoulder. And keep that reptile-like bend in the arm. Something like that. And then I still want to give it some weight on the stomach, but keep going back like this. Something. I need some more neck too. But okay, let's see. Let's keep playing with this. So basically want this to come up here. This to be right up here to be the apex point, which will then flow into the head. Okay. Another one of the legs here. Okay, so we bring the leg here. Leg here to be okay, and then we need a little bit of a burn or something here. A bit smaller, so we can get some more real estate to work with. And then this last leg would come right here. This, something like that. And then now we have the tail. Now we have the tail, which would be something from here. And the spine, so this center line would need to follow that tail. I think. Not just. So, I could just drag it out like that, but that feels very not dynamic. Let me check. Let's check a tail on a actual alligator. Yeah, keep it thick like that. Go center line here. center line here, and then needs to flow over there for the tail. Maybe not as steep. Maybe it's more like this, and then it's gonna flow back here and then down. Keep this here. You see, I'll hide the tail on this side. Mm. Hold. Yeah, something like that. I don't love that tail, but it's a weird perspective. Mm. Okay, so something like that. I think that was at least a little better on the forms, but it needs to still, I think, turn more this way. Maybe this, more like this. Okay, like that. Definitely more. Definitely still feels very iguana-like though. Where's my reference? Okay, let's see. So wanted to kind of slope down a little bit more here. Okay, better. Nope. Nope, that's not the right one. Control T. Oh, that's on the wrong. Control D. Okay. There. Okay, let's take this. This is on. Let's turn some opacity on this brush. And then I think also we're going to bring this up some more. And I definitely want the biggest spikes to be on his shoulder right here. Basically, this is going to be the peak point of his look. Because the other part is that we can technically see the other side of this too. I'll play around with this design a little bit. I actually like, ooh, I like that more. I think giving him that draw, or that angled on this draw, angle piece on this draw, I think it does look cooler. There's some, not losing some weight here though, because of the amount of skin that would probably be here. This would probably extend a little bit further like that. just rough ideas of anatomy in there. This is all gesture right now, so not a big deal on getting things pretty just yet. Okay, I'm liking that more. I think definitely feels like he definitely feels like he is he is having the most of his power in his back right here, which I do like. Um, he got the 6 legs. He does still loop back a little bit, but I kind of like it more now. Instead of just being completely flat, he feels like he at least well, it's kind of sinks in the back, which is a better than I think what we originally had. Um, this side technically would be there. See, so you're wrapping around like this, like this, like this, wrapping around right there. Would wrap around right there. Follow that line. Wrap around right here. This wraps around here, wraps around here, wraps around here, wraps around here. That's the cross section, or the crop. That's the wrapping lines of him. I guess kind of the cross section. I'm gonna go ahead and bring his head out a little bit more. Maybe bring his head up in size and then out a little bit more. And get a bit more of a neck in there. Losing all this area right here, right now. Actually, I'm gonna bring the head back a little bit. I think maybe we can bring it up in size, but back. This. Okay, yeah. All right, start cleaning up some of these lines and start actually finding the form a little bit more in all this mess that we've made. Maybe that'd be at the top right there. I don't know. I don't know about that, but at least put in some planes in there to define the head. And this would come around over here. At least I don't know how I feel about this, but we can at least define the head here. We so it's easier to see the planes. Yeah, I'm not going to keep that, but at least I can see where the head starts. For now, bring this jaw down a bit more. Really emphasize that lower jaw. Okay, I think bring this shoulder a bit more out on the other side. Follow this around. Then I'm gonna bring this whole arm a bit more out. Bring this out a little bit more. This is going to be him crawling forward a bit more so you can have his arm out, more outstretched. I actually think he should bring, if his arm's going to be outstretched, it should be a little bit more this way. Okay. And now the arm is too big. You can go ahead and just shrink that in size a bit. Cool. And then I think after doing that, this arm should be a little more dynamic too. No, this one actually needs to be maybe, well, difficulty. This one should actually maybe be a little bit higher up. If we're going stretch out the other one, then this one comes up a little bit and then stays like this. Right here. Yeah, maybe. Mm, yeah, maybe just both doing the same thing. A little boring, but something like that. Well, at least it's looking like something. I actually think this needs to come up a bit more up here too. Hmm. Just a little more turned. Hmm. Like that, and then. Hmm. Okay, more turned inward that way. Okay. Maybe just take all of this and make it move it over a bit more this way. So it's going a little bit more towards the distance. This go back more this way. And we've seen more of that, and then we've seen probably more of the back of this leg. Maybe not completely, something like that. Something like that. And then, so yeah, so it comes up here, maybe still has some weight there. Here, goes over here. Okay, yeah, a little bit better. Let's see, from far away. Yeah, this back leg is still a little bit messed up, but I think it does get the point a bit. And then actually, you know, I'm gonna bring this up. Okay, cool. That helps. That helps. And then actually, I think this needs to come up here if we're gonna be doing this. Whatever I'm doing here. I think those maybe need to be moved out a little bit more. Shoulders need to be further apart. Yeah, there we go. Maybe just a little bit wider. And then same thing with this one. Out. Yeah, let's see. Okay. So wider now. Let's go ahead and pull some more turtle reference for this headpiece. Yeah, I think we can go. Yeah, okay. I think it could benefit from something like this. Heads right there. Cool. Okay. What is this? This curves here. And then basically this needs to go all the way over here. Okay, something like that. Cool. Okay. Um. Uh-oh. Camera freaking out. Check the live. Oh man, camera's freaking out. Along. Okay, dang. Okay, his camera is frozen. Fun. Need to get a new. Need to get a new. I think that's probably the cam link. Okay, cool. That does a little bit. Fixed it at least for now, but I need to get need some new cam links. I think. I think a new cam link, some new wires, and who knows other stuff. Cool. All right, good enough for now. But yeah, okay, cool. So for this one, then I'm liking the flatness of this head that we just chose right here. Something like that. Looks good. It flat. Gives it that original turtle kind of influence that we wanted. Let's see. So the head's coming to right here. The jaw's coming right here. We're gonna have it. Actually, that's gonna be the center point. Goes right there. This comes up, down, out. This to be about right there. Brings this about right there. This one, this point, and then this one is the same as this one. It comes out right there. Something like that. Just a little bit to show that that has some side there. This is, oh, what is this? This needs to be this, and then I'm missing this right here, this piece right here. There we go. That's what that looks like. Okay, a flat like head. Let's bring some eyes back in. Like that. I'm gonna bring this out a bit more. Cool. Okay, cool. Liking that. Okay. Liking the look on this guy. I think. Do you see any more? Maybe you see one, but somewhere over there. It could be mostly covered. We'll just add something there so we can maybe see. Okay, and then I would like the idea that the biggest spikes are going to be somewhere on the shoulders up here. Something like that. And then let's just kind of fill in all these spikes so we have an idea. I mean, I think these spikes would also extend towards the limbs, and kind of start to cover the tops at least of the legs. That, something like that. Roughly that. I think this is too much right here. Okay, roughing in the spikes. I don't know what we want to do with those. What we would want to do with those are a little bit more complicated. This comes in a little bit more. Okay. let's get this center line back in here because put a lot of detail in here. That's going to make it a little bit messy. The center line. About is that. Is that some of these need to come back a little bit more. Okay, cool. Okay, and then bring back a bit of the body here. Tail not so spiked, just so we can kind of read it a bit more. Okay. Cool. Okay, cool. That's roughly what I think would be a coolish design for it. I think we still kind of lost some of that original. Hmm, ended up getting kind of flat again. Nope. I can move that back up a little bit. In order to do that, I would have to move the head down. Basically, his neck is up right now, and I kind of want it to be. Nope. Nope. Wait. Up. Nope. B. Okay, there we go. So yeah, let's bring the neck back up in here. If the neck goes down here to this follows the center line, the neck would come here. Bring the neck back in. Basically, this is the neck coming right here. Boom. And then, oh, stop. Why do I keep hitting that button? Okay. And that would be the neck coming right here. There, so it's being lowered. A bit of spikes following around like that, or coming down at the neck like that. I think that at least gives it some more of that weight that I kind of felt like we were losing when it started looking a little flat. Means that the jowls and all that coming down underneath right here would be almost touching the ground, but it's just the massive size of the head is what's pulling the neck down. Okay. very messy, but I at least kind of see the vision again. Very turtle like though too. Okay, let's get some. Spent probably more time than we should have on this one. Technically, at this stage, should be everything should be quick sketches, but really wanted to figure this one out. Cool. So let's go ahead and add some quick color. Nice. Okay. Let's do light wash of color, something like about right here. No, it's still too dark. That's still really dark. What's huh? Very dark. What? Going? Ah, this. It's this thing. Okay, cool. There we go. That's better. Okay, we're gonna put some color on here. Ooh. Just light wash of color. Actually, let's go ahead and mask this a little bit. Technically, it wouldn't even at this point. Probably shouldn't put any color down. This would be something that I would want to go figure out a little bit more, erase, and then come back over and then figure out color once we have like some cleaner forms. Because right now this is pretty much just a gestural sketch right now, but that's fine. These are supposed to be sketches. I think it would do better if it had at least a little bit of color. Do some of this. Maybe we go a little lighter in the color, a little less blue. Cool. And then get some light shadow shapes in there. Create clipping mask. Ooh, man, I am tired today. Today's been a long day. Definitely not the definitely not um the best energy for a stream, but it's fine. Friday at least we'll have some more energy. Let's put some shadow here underneath. Because the mean basically if the yeah, if the sun is above and we just kind of assume the light source will always be above whenever we're doing something like this. Um could be uh getting the high or at least the yeah, the initial under this whatever hood crest thing should be at least get experiencing a little bit of shadow. This is very round, so we'll go and soften that up. Keep those on the side. Also soften some of that up. We'll make that a little sharper. Something like that. I'm going to bring that up too. A little sharper as it's a cast shadow. We'll just add a little bit of shading on the spines or where the spines are roughly going to be. And then actually want to go ahead and come through where the teeth or whatever the mouth is so we can kind of add some least little looks like ambient occlusion there from maybe where the mouth is slightly opened, but it's still going to be a cavity because that's where because it's that's like the inside of the mouth. So add some stuff there. Let's go ahead and bring some more shadow on the bottom side of this. Also of this jaw, because the jaw is big, so it's going to be casting a shadow, and we can actually bring that as a hard shadow shape. A bit more. Oops. The shadow being cast from the that shadow being cast from the actual jawline there. Cool. And then maybe some darker shadows in here from where uh, certain pieces of the spikes are causing a little bit of ambient occlusion. Go even darker on some of these. There you go. Smaller brush. Just darker in some of these crevices that would be forming around here. But yeah, I'm not married to these spikes. I think in all actuality, we probably have to, pick something a little bit cleaner or something more defined. And if we were gonna, if we were just to plan or planning this out further, and taking this further, we probably want to be a little bit more clean with some of these spike shapes. But I'm just kind of getting something in there so you can kind of see what's going on with that or what that would look like. So just a really rough concept. Cool. And I think that's still maybe too dark. Let's maybe try it. And the spikes, let's maybe see if we can change the color a little bit, but let's lighten it up. And cool. So a little bit, and then I'm thinking maybe just to keep this separate. It'll be darker. Mm, light for now. Cool. Looking awesome, but I gotta go to bed. Rest up for my campaign in 16 hours. Have a good, yeah, you too. Thanks for giving me the suggestion too. It's fun to play around with. Uh, I'll keep playing around with it too. I'll post in the Discord. If we ever come with something a little bit more complete. This was a fun experiment though. But yeah, definitely tired today too. So not the best it probably could be. But I'll keep working at it. But yeah, you have a good night. Thanks for stopping by again. Hmm. Put some like red. Get weird with it. Okay, let's just add some red maybe to help differentiate the spines. A little bit more interest. Okay, let's just mix all these together now. And just clean some of this. It's just very messy right now. Hmm. Don't love the red either. Okay, well, let's go ahead and just follow this guy here. Then, I think we spent enough time on him, even if he's a little rough looking. Let's go ahead and take this person, though. I'm going to take this person. I am going to bring them right there. Let's see, right here. One, two, three. Yeah, this feels still like about the right size. Maybe bring him a little closer so it's bigger. Let me just fix this little dude. Okay, let's see if we can. Cool little person. Let's give him a little. I don't know, some sort of fabric hanging, just to give some more visual interest. I don't like the staff thing. Cool. All right. Cool. I don't know why. I don't know who the little person is, but there's a little person here. That way we can at least have something to reference from just a size point of view. Something like that. That feels, kind of interesting. Um, cool. Okay. Well, I don't love this one, but I think it's okay to at least move him for now. Oh, nope. Let's put them all together. Maybe a different one. I'm gonna turn you off. I don't think I need you. Okay. Control G. Boom. Control 1. Pull him up over here. Oops. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and give him one of these guys too. little reference guy. I can live with him. Cool. Now we have a little size reference for him. And yeah, that works. All right, let's see. I'll do a little bit more um of these ones. So that was a very bulky one. Spent a lot of time on it, but it's very bulky. I think turned out pretty cool. Or at least in no, I mean not that cool, but he's at least an idea. A decent idea to continue on if we want to at some point. Okay, let's see. We did a lighter one, like a slender one. Let's see. We can do something that's like a something weird. Um, just do another head. Thinking maybe more snake-like on this one, with some weird. Hmm. Let's see. Maybe like. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I think I see something. Okay. So instead of being a like a normal dragon lizard head, we still keep that, but we add something that's like a that's like a weird hard surface piece on it. So we make this like a some sort of cube-ish object. Oh man, left me this is part of that. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this. No, Control X actually. Control X. And then Control Shift V, bring this out. Okay. And then we can go ahead and bring this up in size a little bit. So we have this cube-like feature right here. Do we want this to extend? Like that. Let's see. More like a weird space dragon. Okay, something like that. I feel like that's okay. This we can keep bringing this to be the mouth. I think it's cool to have a mouth. And keep it normal-ish dragon mouth. Trying to see some other ones for reference that I can pull from. Could go like sea creature mouth. Might be weird. Or you know what? We could do split mouth. Yeah, what if we did something like this? Actually, okay. Okay, this one's gonna be more alien like. I like this long, and we add maybe like this. Mm, leave that. Feels too much like a person still. Okay, let's see. So, let me see. Do I have a weird? I saw a weird lizard earlier. I took a reference of. Um, I could do the weird little thing like that. That's kind of cool. Okay, cool. Weird lizard. It's got frills on the side, but he opens his mouth. Um, I think what we have to do for this is it's going to be we're going to have to bring the mouth. Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, we are stay with this, but need to bring that mouth forward. So okay, let's erase what we have right now. I think it's getting kind of lost in there. Okay, just like this. So top of the head, this is just basically standard dragon. Wish instead of eyes, it's gonna have this though. Put some nose pieces in there so we can have some reference points. Keep this weird. Well, maybe bring. Yeah, okay. Keep this weird cube shape thing here. This is the bottom. This is the jaw. Still right here. I'm thinking maybe instead of this regular piece, though, we have some sort of like some sort of split mouth. So split mouth would be something like hmm, do a split mouth like yeah, okay, maybe we just have it mouth to mouth like always open. Looking at this reference of a weird beholder actually. Maybe we can take something like that. So mouth open. Almost like a xenomorph, honestly, now I'm looking at it. But instead of that, we have okay, this. It honestly just looks kind of like a xenomorph. Um, isn't bad, but don't know if I'm loving that as much. Okay, see, so this. Okay. Oh, cool. Okay, so this is kind of turning into like a xenomorph vibe. I don't know if I love this as it feels less like a dragon. It does feel more like a xenomorph, but let's see. So back here, back here, back here. this back more so it's more snake-like coming out. Cool. Okay. Not not terrible. I don't hate that. Definitely does feel more alien-like. I don't hate that. Um, I think maybe this can come out more here. Mm. Well, didn't mean to erase all that, but that's fine. Sure that I have this. Okay. Okay. Let's bring that mouth down just slightly, a little bit more. I'm gonna hinge it. So right now it's hinging right here. So maybe about like right here. Actually, bring it down a little bit more. So it's hinging about right. Yeah. Like this. Okay. That. Okay, we get a little bit of the primitive lines in there so we can actually see what we're doing. Make sure we're lining this up right. Some rough teeth in there just to get the vibes. Cool. All right. Cool. All right. I don't feel like it looks like a dragon as much. But it looks weird and looks alien and I kind of like it. I kind of actually want to bring this up more. And do I want it to be like an alien, like a xenomorph kind of vibe? Just very smooth. I think that feels too xenomorphy. I can terminate this one in. See, I can terminate this one in like a crest to make it feel very different. I don't like that. I do kind of like the way the smooth looks. I do think I do think this is kind of interesting like this, but I don't know. It feels too xenomorph like. Could do something like that. Could do something like this. Right, something like this. Okay, so So if I can do something like this, then kind of riveted like that, or not riveted, but okay, kind of segmented like that. I think that could be cool, but I'm not feeling that 100%. Could do something more like this. Maybe segmented still, but which I think also feels xenomorphy in a way. It feels like the queen. Maybe that's what we're making. We're making a xenomorph dragon, which could be cool in concept too. Huh, I don't, I don't know though. I mean, it doesn't look bad. I'm not hating that. Okay, I don't hate that. Then what are we gonna do with the body? What does the body look like? I feel like it's slender, so already. So if we were gonna do a body, it would need to also be somewhat slender. Maybe like Velociraptor almost. Something like that. So maybe like this. I don't have a reference open for Velociraptor, but I feel like I can kind of. Feels too thick. Definitely very bird-like on this shape. Cool. But I think, yeah, if we get something that feels more dinosaur, less dragon though, I would say this is feeling definitely more on the along the realm of dinosaur or alien, which is cool and kind of the original idea was to kind of make something that's was felt a little alien, but I think it feels almost too alien. Yeah, the digit grade, digit grade, digit grade, digit grade, digit grade. Foot. I'm trying to get some sort of claw in there just so it doesn't feel too human because that feels very human right now. A little too human. And actually, so the knee, well, because it goes back. I think it probably goes this way. I think it's facing. It shouldn't be facing us that much. It would be. It would be technically a little bit more like that. Something like that. I want dragon wings, maybe still. I want to try to give it. Maybe just something weird. Doesn't need to be fully dragon wings. I'm just thinking like it has because it does kind of feel human already. But thinking like if it was a human and we kind of wanted this, we would do something like that to have it in movement. We want dragon-like wings. I think this body doesn't really work with dragon wings though. Hmm. Kind of want to lean more into the snake. I think we have this thing that looks cool. I feel like it looked cooler when it was. So even if we make it longer, like I don't think it's gonna make. No, I think the legs kind of kill it. I think actually, you know what? Seeing this, yeah, but we're gonna lean into that snake motif. Let's see. This is the side. Okay, we're going down like this. Stomach. No, stomach is gonna go. Yeah. Inside. Yeah. Okay. So this is outside, and then okay. So this is becomes the yeah. Okay. So boom. Okay. So then this becomes the stomach. Yeah. Okay. So this is this. This is this. This is this. And then we have basically this is going to be the side plane. Okay. Okay, so this is this. I don't like that. Because then yeah, so then this right here is where it starts to bend. This comes down maybe to right there. Look at that. Okay, yeah. The only thing that really matters is that center line. The center line right here, this line right here. It's really thin right here. This needs to be there we go. Okay. Okay. Why did you do that again? Is it just small? Why is it so small? Weird. Okay. Honestly, and then maybe I'm thinking maybe like we get Cobra like with it. We got like a little hood. Nah, let's not do that. This is overcomplicating this shape. Okay, so whatever this is, is the head, or this is the top. Top. This is fully top. Fully on top right here. Wraps around. Um, Wraps around fully right here, and then technically this would extend, but we aren't gonna see that. And I guess just so we can keep the this is the center line of the snake. Yeah, okay, cool. The worm, whatever it is. I'm actually gonna bring. I am gonna bring this size because we got really big on the body, and I think we could do better if we have something like that. Cool. All right, that feels like something. Feels like we have some sort of idea of what we're doing. Let's just start to get some forms back in there. Lighten up everything just so we can bring it back in a little bit more defined. 10:30. Cool. I don't know where that connects. Yeah, I don't know where that connects. Did I plan that out? Nope, I think it's just kind of connected. All right, we'll say like something like that. That feels. And then we'll just give the, yeah, we'll give the, this side right here, we'll hide whatever we do not have figured out with this. Is most of it. That. Okay, let's do little teeth on the side. No, this needs to be higher. A little bit smaller. We get better shapes. That is good. Maybe keep that angle. Okay, maybe do that. Yeah. Okay, I kind of like that a little bit more. Keeps that original angle in there a bit. The right move? I don't know, but we're gonna keep it. Okay, something's not right with this. What did I mess up here? Because technically, maybe this would come. Okay, give it a little bit more of teeth over here. We actually didn't have any on the side. Man, I don't love that little mouth or the little side piece, but whatever. Yeah, actually, I think that's also something I need to do with when I'm building this. Technically, it needs to spread out, so it needs to come like that. And we can actually give myself a little bit of gum on this. Yeah. And here, this comes in front of there. So I don't really fully know what that is or how that connects in, but at least we've right there we can cover that up so we don't see the as much of the mess. Okay, something like that. Kind of cool. Uh, and then if we keep this, hold on. Okay, do this. Cool. And then go here. And then it's like technically the center point's right here, and then the center point technically is right here. Okay, so now it's got that weird thing. It's got a weird body. Okay, let's bring this up a little bit actually in size. I want to bring it up. I want to get some more blind weight down here to kind of show that it's on the floor. Bring that. Cool. Hmm. I don't know what I would do with this though. I'm thinking we could go little arms like this, like all over little arms like that. Underneath, I don't like that. I kind of just like the simpleness of this guy. Um, the simplicity of him. Weird, for sure. All right, let's just go ahead and throw a wash on him. Supposed to be just. I didn't realize I'm painting with the. I am painting with a. Or I've been drawing with a painting brush. My bad. Okay, so getting this guy in. Oh wait, that's not right. Ah, that's fine. Go all the way around. Just get this lasso tool in there. And then clean up. Oh, we gotta get this guy in there too. Cool. And then we're gonna go ahead and add a cleanup here. Okay. Clean up. Nope, not like that. And then clean up right here. Cool. Yeah. Clean up right here, maybe. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good enough. Let's get a good wash in there. Cool. All right. Control D. Let's do. Let's see if we can. Maybe. Okay, create clip mask now. Okay. Um, all right, now we're just gonna do rough shadows. A rough wash in here. And if we're gonna assume the light is coming from, I'm gonna say the light's coming from this side, so top left, which means that we get some of this out of here, or get some of this in shadow, get all of this down here in shadow, especially towards the ambient occlusion area. I think top left it would be coming, yeah, so maybe a little bit less here. That's fully not a scientific reasoning for that. Maybe a little more over here, top left. Yeah, that seems right. And then maybe we lightly do this because it's curving, so it's not a super sharp fall off. But we should have done cleaner than that. I think it's actually better like that. Let's just say it like that. And then this also. We get that, and then let's do darkness in here. Um, Darkness on the side, darkness underneath, especially there. Cool. Cool. And then this whole side is going to be blocked by the head. Um, Actually, yeah, all of this is going to be blocked by the head. So then we're going to go ahead and we'll say technically maybe these little teeth. I don't know. It's just kind of a loose thing. This in shadow. Keep all this in shadow. Yeah, say it's in shadow. All that. And then all of this as well. Oh yeah, that's head. Yeah, I mean yeah, all that. All this. Yeah, that feels fine. It's not as much, but yeah. All that. And then let's go a little darker just to get some more of that ambient occlusion in there. Go a little dark, not that dark, right there. Basically anywhere that's going to be really occluded. All along here. A little bit more there. Um, maybe over here a little bit more, just to separate the head from the. Oh, actually, yeah, just to separate the head from um his little arms. Something like that. Feels okay. That feels okay. Cool. Okay. Weird little snake dragon. I don't know. Don't love it, but it's at least a thing, you know? At least it is a concept. It's kind of interesting. Cool. You get this guy. Okay. Okay, we'll put this. Oop, nope, not you. That. You guys are not in the same perspective for this, but yeah, something like that. Cool. Okay. Let's do another one. Let's get the actual. We look. No, let's not do textured line. I like using my pencil black. Okay. Cool. Okay, we did that one. Let's do something that's more traditional dragon like. Let's do a baby dragon. I think that's kind of what I was trying to go for anyway. Eventually, what do we want for baby dragon? We want something big. Want something big head, big eyes, and small little wings. Big head, big eyes, small little wings. And I'm thinking maybe more frog-like. Oh, like cheetah cub maybe. For some of the maybe for some of the little details. Thinking like little lizard, like fat lizard frog, like frog like's kind of cool. All right, let's try just something kind of cute. think that's kind of what, or I think what a cute is what a baby would be like. The cool. Um. Okay. I think I'm thinking. Okay, so I'm thinking frog. I'm thinking baby. Frog baby, and then kind of like there's a frog that's kind of transparent. I do like that also. Lizard, thinking like leopard gecko, that kind of face. Big head, big eyes. Big head, big eyes. Maybe yawning like those little cute frogs do. Okay, let's try something like this. Let's start with big head. Something like, yeah, looking down like this, maybe. Okay, so bring this little mouth down. Super derpy looking, but I'm kind of digging it for now, at least. Maybe give it little horns. Um, I think I like that, but I think I go ahead and take this. I think it needs maybe not as big of a snout as like a full dragon or anything, but just enough to be like to still feel like a dragon. Yeah. Okay, so if we're saying that it's coming down like this, we're saying basically our here, yeah. So coming down like this, so then yeah, this way. I like the idea of the eyes pointing out, being a little derpy. That looks like a cow here, but we'll tackle that when we get to that. Mm-hmm. It looks like a cow. Still looking like a cow. Um. Okay, let's see. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it rounder too. Hard because dragons are kind of angular by like their default, but I feel like as a baby dragon, you need to really keep it kind of round. Everything is kind of soft. Okay, something kind of. I don't know if I feel about those horns on the face. I think the horns are too big too because baby wouldn't have horns. Baby would have if it had horns, it would be like very beginnings of horns. Hmm. Okay, so then tongue would be maybe something. Okay. Mm, okay. So not feeling young. Don't know what. I think it's a this part that's too big to. All right, let's get rid of horns completely. I think maybe we really lean into big eyes. Want little derpy eyes, but I don't know the right way to. I think using maybe the pupils. I think also. Hmm. Okay. I think that maybe helps. I think maybe we bring this like this. Still feels like it's a different type of thing. Let me see. Let me look at snakes. I think I have like a hog nose in here. Maybe a hog nose is the right move. Yeah, I think I like. I don't have a hog nose, but I think I like maybe like a snake vibes for eyes. Hmm. Okay. Let me see those frogs again. Yeah. Okay. Okay. This feels more like a little gecko, which I like. I think that's the right direction to go. Okay, adding a little bit of sharpness. I guess towards the bottom if the top is very smooth. Okay. Maybe bring the nose just a little bit pointier to make it feel more dragon-like without feeling just completely lizard-like. Could just get rid of one, just have one tooth. No, this looks like I just didn't draw it. Doesn't look like I'm missing one tooth. Maybe a little. Cool. Okay, so something like that. I don't think it's very cute though. I don't think we're leaning into that much. Uh, but anyway, we'll see. We can do that. Let's get something else in here. Okay, so if we take this, hmm, this kind of feels like. Wait, we should get rid of this little dude because it doesn't match the size right now. This is a very different. This would be like a very small character. Okay, so I can go round like that. I think he's too round. The other option is to go skinnier. I like round though. Everything else has been either. Okay, you know what? Yeah, let's do this. Let's bring him down. Okay. Okay. Let me see. So, um, over here. Yeah. Think wider eyes. If I go wider with the eyes, let's do something like this. Make him look a little derpier. Okay, interesting. I don't know. Interesting to try to like find a way to make something feel both like I feel like something that's it is very dangerous, but or like it's a very usually a very like okay. I like that a little bit more. Maybe we keep it something little cheeks. That usually feels very like dangerous, but or whatever. That guy's very powerful or whatever, but instead being very like it, small and innocent or cute or whatever feels weird to try to draw. It's hard to make. How do you make those be? I mean, I like that. That feels okay. That feels better. What does sleepy look like? What does yawning look like? Yawning, yawning animal. Let's try that. Oh, this little monkey yawning. Eyes are just fully closed. Okay, like this. Okay, let's try. Let's try this. Okay, we play around with this. So again, he's falling asleep while he's flying. Okay, falling asleep while he's flying, or something like that. Is there like a little? Yeah, there we go. There's a little guy right here. I think maybe. Okay. Oh, okay. Maybe a little flying guy. Maybe. I think maybe. Maybe that. Do I have? So yeah, I think I want to make it a wyvern. Okay, maybe. But these legs still, no, not it. Give him a little belly, maybe. Hmm. I don't like the arms on this. Okay, don't like the arms on this one, but try this. No, don't like that. Hmm. All right, let's do this. Take this guy. I like kind of parts of this, but I don't like him too much yet. Okay, let's keep him. I'm thinking maybe keep him thin up here, and then kind of come into a round boy at the bottom. Yeah, and then maybe we have him come like this, and then he has maybe like keep it thinner still here, and then hmm, it's like stretching. It's like stretching maybe. There we go. Yeah, maybe he's just kind of stretching because he's a tired boy. Make the head a little bigger. A lot bigger, actually. Okay, cool. Feels young. Feels young. Maybe give him a cool tail. something like this. It's got super quiet. I was concentrating. But yeah, something like that. Maybe kind of a cool tail. I don't really know what I'm doing with the tail. We're just trying to find something that looks kind of cool. Was it 1124? Okay, yeah, maybe. Yeah. This. Boom. Okay. Okay, maybe like this. And then, so this would be this. This one would come in a little bit. Okay, liking this a lot more. Liking this a lot more. What is that? What is that? No. Give me back my color. Mhm. Okay, so that's this. That would mean that the little legs, something like this, would need to be right here. Okay, kind of like that. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and lighten everything up just a little bit. So we can build this back up with the. I kind of like that to be a little sharper. Build this back up with the let's build it up a little bit cleaner. Okay, have a little bit of a tooth there. Okay, have that neck wrapping around. Arm comes forward because this is the chest, so maybe something like this. Rib cage somewhere around there. what is that? It's gonna be like. I think there's a long claw there. I think technically, what there would be, fingers throughout the whole thing. Technically, this comes like this. This is the little thigh, little chicken wing or chicken leg. This is where it meets the thigh, and then maybe something like that. Okay, what time is it? 11:30. Yeah, we can go ahead and wash this guy before we go. Okay, we'll wash this guy. Cool. And then cool, cool. Okay. Oh, this needs to be. There we go. Okay, and then we're gonna do a really light wash for him. I'm liking the idea of yeah. Okay. Okay. Little white light wash. This is eraser. That's why. Okay. Rectangle. Got it. Too dark. Go really light for him. Dark. There we go. Okay. Control D. E. Whatever. Okay, then create clipping mask. Okay. A little bit lighter. Okay. Let's try to do this, and then right there. Assuming the light's coming from the top right. Make it very light on the shadow on the face, just because it's not. It's got some planes to it, but it's mostly hitting that. We'll go ahead and take a little bit, just a little bit here, quickly from this, and then actually bring some of that back from bounce. And then technically down here. No, but yeah, mostly I think that's fine. I think maybe give a little bit of color around the eyes. A little darker for some of that ambient occlusion inside the mouth, because there would be some on the tongue. Um, yeah, I mean, maybe like right there or something, but maybe like in there. Technically, all that would be in darkness because of the light. Add a little bit for maybe the translucency that comes through. Okay, something like that. That feels like something. Okay, well, good enough. Good enough for this one. Not the best stuff right now, but good practice. I think for stuff I need to gonna work on tomorrow anyway. So, uh, since I'm gonna work on some more dragon stuff tomorrow, this is a good practice for that. Um, but at least it's some interesting-ish kind of stuff, I guess. Just at least some practice. But yeah, today was a kind of slow one. Um, yeah, a little tired too. So hopefully, next one on Friday is a little better. But yeah, anyway, but yeah, thanks for coming. I will see you next time. And this one here, got some few dragons, nothing too fancy, but just some practice going.